everybody. I hope you're doing well. Well, a friend of mine sent me a text and they wanted to know, they said, hey, is there something I could make on the weekend or early in the week? I just want to cook once, come back to it, cut up a slice, have it for supper, ready to go. I don't have to turn on the oven all the time every day of the week. Got the wheels turning, and it threw me back to something I read about preserving food. You have several methods. You have salt, you have smoke, you have sugar, like for jams and stuff, but you also have fat. And then that got me thinking about terrine. Now, terrine comes from the French word terre, meaning earth, is essentially a force meat product that you could add vegetables, fruit, nuts, all kinds of goodies. It could even be made with fish or entirely with vegetables, but it's a formed product. You pack, you cook, and then you serve it cold. You slice it, and away you go. So here we go, a duck terrine with dried blueberries and cherries, all from the area. Let's go. So we're going to need some dried blueberries and cherries to add a bit of sweetness, texture, and visual appeal to our terrine. We're also going to need about 1 kilogram of pork shoulder that we're going to grind up. Now this is going to be our force meat or our sausage. Make sure you ask for double ground or fine ground if you're going to your butcher for it. Okay, so we got some fresh parsley here. I think we'll use this for our terrine. Anyways, check out some other plants later on. For the inlay, we're going to use a duck breast. Now the first thing we're going to do is remove the duck fat or the skin on the outside. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to season it. Sprinkle some salt on both sides, make sure you get a good amount there. And finally, a little bit of cracked pepper. Once we do this, we're going to get a smoking hot pan, really, really hot, a little bit of fat in there, and we're going to sear the duck breast all over. Make sure you get some color. Chop up half an onion. Turn our duck over, make sure you get a good seal everywhere, lots of caramel. And this is what allows the rest of the force meat to stick to it. So just remember, seal it, but don't cook it all the way through and don't burn it for sure. Once that's done, we deglaze any bits that have stuck to the pan with about 60 ml of white wine. Afterwards, we add our onions. Keep cooking until translucent. If there's too much liquid that evaporates, add some more, and then turn your heat down and cook it to a syrupy consistency. And this will add extra flavor to our terrine. To bind the force meat together, I'm going to use about 30 grams of breadcrumbs, just old stale bread that I've run through a grater. The texture is pretty much on the fine side, but don't worry if there's a few big chunks in there. Next, I'm going to put our meat in the bowl. Make sure it's cold and clean. We're going to add our 30 grams of breadcrumbs. We're going to add the onions that we've cooked down in the deglaze in the duck fat and all the caramels. Make sure you get everything in there. And then we're going to add our dried fruits. And we're going to add about 12 to 15 grams of salt, about 1.5 grams of dried savory, about 2.2 grams of black pepper, and 1 whole egg. And then we just start mashing it all together. That parsley that we picked and washed, chop it up fine. We sprinkle that into our force meat, and we add about 60 ml of milk. Time to assemble our terrine. Take a dish lined with plastic, high-sided. I'm going to put some herbs down for decoration and flavor. The duck skin from earlier. Then our force meat. Put it down. Our seared duck breast that's cooled. Push it into the force meat. Make sure all the stuff comes up around the sides. Put some more force meat on top. And then pack it in there and smooth it out. Use a wet spatula, get it good and flat, just like this. Then we cover it with parchment paper. And then on top of that, we're going to cover it with some aluminum foil. Now this is an improvisation of a real terrine mold. Basically all you want to do is keep the heat in there and keep the moisture in there. Next, we're going to put our pan inside of another pan, fill it with hot water halfway up, and this is our bain-marie. You cook at 300 degrees for 2 hours or until the temperature is between 150 and 164. Yeah, we hit the temperature, and now we weigh it down with a brick. What the weight does is it pushes all the protein below the surface, allowing for all the liquid fats to surround it and protect it. And this is what allows it to last so long. So what we do is we wrap up our brick in aluminum foil just like this, and then we're going to place this on top of our terrine that's just come out of the oven, like so. You leave it in the fridge for 36 to 48 hours just for it to mellow, but you could use a rock, cans, jars, any kind of weight. So after the time is elapsed, we're going to start slicing. So you noticed all the duck fat and herbs on the outside, all the collagen. This helps protect our terrine. When you slice into it, take a look at what we got here. We've got a duck breast, some cherries, some blueberries, and our force meat. Now, the technical term for the duck piece on the inside is an inlay. Now, inlays are a point of visual interest, textural interest, and you can use all kinds of patterns. Use your creativity. You can use ham, nuts, whatever you got. And here, you serve it with a slice of bread and some pickled cherries. You got yourself a good meal. Share, like, and subscribe, everybody.